We have just filed a suit in the Federal High Court, suit number 1580-2025, where we are seeking order of mandamus to compel the EFCC to include. We are seeking order of mandamus to ensure that EFCC includes Mr. Dapo Segun, who was the former executive vice chairman, executive vice president of NNPCL, downstream, who presided over the affairs of the NNPC downstream and was in charge of the fraudulent turnaround maintenance of Warri and the Port Harcourt refineries, where over $3 billion has been spent, almost 5 to 6 trillion naira of taxpayers' money, while Nigerians are suffering, groaning in hunger, anguishing in poverty. And we are also seeking to an order of mandamus to compel the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, while we also call on the President to immediately suspend Mr. Dapo Segun as the executive director of finance of the NNPCL. Based on the fraud he perpetrated or the fraud he presided over as the executive vice chairman downstream during the acquisition of OVL Energy by NNPC. Of course, you know that OVL Energy was purportedly acquired by NNPCL, and over $325 million was purportedly paid in a kind of deal that was shrouded in complicated Byzantine, in a complicated secrecy. The corruption in this country that has dealt with Nigerians, that have kept Nigerians in abject poverty. This man presided over it, and the NNPCL fraudulently purportedly acquired OVH Energy, and they have taken over the entire retail outlet of NNPC. And regrettably, a foreigner is in charge of OVL Energy, and the foreigner is now in charge of our total retail market. NNPC retail market in this country, and that is, you see, what corruption is dealing on Nigerians. So we are in this court to seek to compel EFCC. EFCC cannot be fighting corruption and also scratching corruption. EFCC cannot be seen to be condoning corruption in the name of fighting corruption. You are probing the turnaround, the purported turnaround maintenance of Warri and Port Harcourt refineries, where over 5 trillion of taxpayers' money has been spent, embezzled, and Nigerians are suffering in poverty. People cannot afford to eat 3 square meal in this country. And the man at the center of affairs, the man at the helm of affairs that presided over the purported turnaround maintenance, Mr. Dapo Segun, is left alone. You have invited all other players that were part of the fraudulent turnaround maintenance of these 2 refineries, that were part of the fraudulent deal in acquisition of OVH Energy, and you are leaving alone Mr. Segun Dapo, who was the executive vice president of NNPCL in charge of downstream. This kind of country can't be making mockery of the fight against corruption. We can't be. I mean, this country, we must fix it together. That is why we have civil society organizations. That's why we have anti-corruption campaigners and crusaders. And we will continue to speak to power. We will continue to speak to truth, that things must be done properly, that this country must be better for all of us. We won't continue to suffer in abject poverty while some few people are busy cutting away our money, living in opulence, gallivanting from one place to another. We will continue to rely on the constitutional provisions, to exercise our freedom as citizens of this country, to ensure that corruption is eliminated. And that is why we are calling on the president to immediately suspend Mr. Dapo Segun. He is now the image of corruption in the NNPC. He's even going about meeting one traditional ruler or the other in the southwest to even lobby for the position of the NNPCL group managing director. In fact, he even wants to take over from his brother Ujilari. And even that is like the reward for corruption in Nigeria should be promotion, elevation. If you perpetrate corruption, that covers the corrupt interests of those in position of authority, particularly those at the presidency, the reward will be possible giving you a higher position. So we are calling on the president to prove himself that he is not part of this corruption that is going on in the NNPCL. In fact, I don't want to remember the ugly tale of removal of fuel subsidy that have subjected all of us to abject poverty. And people are making billions of naira every day, billions of dollars every day in the name of turnaround maintenance and subjecting all of us to abject poverty. Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are calling you to exonerate yourself from this corruption. Just tell us that you are not part of this corruption, or purportedly, because it can't be vouched that the presidency, who is himself, the president himself, who is the minister of petroleum, he is not in the know of whatever activity that is happening in the NNPC and the purported turnaround maintenance of the two refineries.